Hi, it's Catherine Franke. A few days ago, I urged all of us to consider ways in which we might be engaging this particular time and do so in ways that are tactically smart. Not just writing an op-ed, not just showing up at a protest, although we should do that too, but are there ways that we can be acting more tactically and effectively right now? And in that respect, I was thinking about the organizing of ACT UP in the 1980s and 1990s. And what the activists there often did is insert themselves in the gears of a problem in order to disrupt it. And sometimes that insertion, those actions, didn't take a long time. They might be for a short period of time, but what they did was illustrate what the underlying structure is of the problem and how you can intervene and actually slow it down or stop it entirely. Now, I think the ACT UP activists were also building on organizing that went on in the South, in North Carolina, at Woolworth's lunch counters, where black and white students would come and sit at segregated lunch counters. Not only were they protesting Jim Crow segregation, they were actually integrating those lunch counters at that point. It was very effective, and they inserted themselves in the actual places where segregation was doing its work. The ACT UP activists did similar things with drug companies that were either price gouging, holding copyrights on drugs, and engaged in actions at the actual business places of those drug companies to illustrate what an important gatekeeping role the drug companies were playing in killing people, essentially, who were HIV positive. So to that extent, I would urge us today, think about where can we insert ourselves in the gears of this horrible, growing authoritarian regime. One option, just to think about, is that there are a couple of companies, private airline companies, that are running pretty much all of the deportation traffic, if you will, or transport between the United States and places like El Salvador. There's a company called CSI Aviation that's based in New Mexico that has huge no-bid contracts with ICE to transport and deport the people that are being swept up in these raids. A subsidiary or a contractor of CSI is a group called Global X. 74% of the flights that CSI is running are through this subcontractor, Global X. I'm not suggesting that anybody do anything illegal. I'm just offering the thought that that might be a place to insert ourselves in the gears of this horrible, horrible project to disrupt it.